guys, welcome to ET Live. I'm your host, Leanne Aguilera, and I am so thrilled right now because the cast of Marvel's Cloak and Dagger are joining me, Olivia Holt and Aubrey Joseph. How's it going?
So good.
Thank you guys so much for stopping in right now. This is such a cool show because this is Freeform's very first Marvel series. You guys are really kicking off a new genre for the network. We are going into episode 4 this week. If you guys have not already started watching the show, binge it right now because it is so much fun. What has this process just been like for you guys? Seeing the show premiere, you wrapped in November.
Yeah, no, it's been surreal. I mean, we've been feeling so many feelings, and there's a lot, there's a lot of them. Yeah. So, yeah, it's been a surreal experience, exhilarating.
Just a whirlwind, like we actually wrapped the pilot in what, like
February of 2017.
Oh my gosh.
So this whole process has been a long time coming. Yeah.
Whoa.
We're the same person. We're the same person.
For all the fans who are tuning in right now, send me your questions for Olivia and Aubrey, and I will be passing them along. But wow, yeah, you guys met almost a year and a half ago then.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you talk to me about your experience when you guys first met, and did you feel that instantaneous chemistry that we see on screen?
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I mean, the audition process was fairly quick because I think they really needed to dial in on who they were going to cast. So I know we both went in for separate auditions, and then we had a chemistry read. And within that chemistry read, it just it was magical, you know? I mean, we had that instant chemistry, and it's crazy because I feel like it's so rare that you find somebody that you instantly connect with, that you know nothing about them except they're just stoked to come in and play the part. And I know that we both left that room feeling really confident in what happened, and then we booked the part, and
we're here.
The rest is history.
And we're here.
Yeah.
Olivia, fans have known and loved you from all of your past projects, but Aubrey, this is really the first time that fans are really getting to know you, and you're being thrust into such a high-profile show. What has it been like for you?
I mean, it's a whirlwind to say the least, but I'm glad that I have someone like Liv. She it was hard for me at first just to get used to all of the press and things like that. But Liv has just been there, kind of helping me and guiding me and really just leading by example. So
you're sweet.
Just very happy to be here and happy to be a part of a show like this. So.
Yeah.
Well, you guys have been live tweeting all the episodes, which I know the fans really appreciate. What has been a common question or something that fans are talking to you about?
When are you guys gonna finally meet?
It's so true. Yeah,
I had that same question.
Right. Yeah. Well,
I know. It takes Tandy and Tyrone a minute to actually have a moment where they hash it out and really figure out what the situation is in their lives. I mean, not just, as these newfound superheroes, but I think also just what's, happening in their lives as teenagers. And I think they really connect over that, and that's what makes their relationship so unique and special. And in this week's, in our 4th episode, our call and response episode it's great. No, it's the first time that we actually see them hash it out together. And we'll start to see them more and more and more. So
we promise.
Yeah.
Well, there's already a little sneak peek from this week's episode that is already out there, and we are seeing you two finally talk about things. And you talk about in the fact that, your character sees people's hopes and your character sees people's fears. When you finally discovered that when you were reading the script, were you like, this makes so much sense now?
Well, the 3rd episode for us was really trippy. And I think it was for everybody else too. Everybody was like, what's going on? What's happening? But I think it's the perfect segue into this 4th episode, talking about a lot of different situations and themes, because our show has so many layers to it. So I think once we sort of figure out each other's powers and how we can cope with them and what we can do with them, I think that's when things start making a little more sense.
It's just that way for them to keep getting close to their answers, right?
Yeah.
So Liv walking through my fears and my hopes, and me walking through her fears, just really kind of gives them some answers, but they really get the answers when they finally meet. It's a very important episode, and it's one of my favorites.
Me too.
So.
I like the fact that the show is a little bit more of a slow burn. You're really making fans wait on pins and needles to even discover not only what their dynamic is going to be like, but also the full extent of their powers. are we going to continue to see their powers evolve over this season and kind of get control over them?
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I think it's really important for the audience to understand them, not just as, you know, this superhero duo, but also as individuals, right? I think that's what's going to make the audience actually appreciate and respect what they're going through.
Yeah.
So, so yeah, everything will evolve. I think not just the powers, but also the things that are happening in their life. Like, I think the answers will start sort of like unveiling themselves a little bit more as the season happens.
Let's talk about your dagger.
Let's talk about it.
Oh, I love talking about my dagger.
When we got to see it for the first time and like you held it up, I'm like, that's a cool looking dagger.
Yeah.
Were there multiple different options that props showed you, or were they like, this is the one that it's gonna be?
You know, actually, before we actually started shooting, I got a call from our production team saying, hey, you know, we're going to send you a dagger in the mail. And I was like, this is dangerous, maybe?
Is that legal?
But it's not. Obviously, it's, you know, it's plastic. Like, and they just wanted to see how it would look and fit in my hand.
Yeah.
And, so that was a pretty gnarly experience. I, like, went to my, you know, post office and picked up a package and opened it, and there was a dagger inside of it. Pretty insane. But, but yeah, I think, you know, as the season progresses, the dagger starts to change and becomes more powerful as she, like, starts to really understand her powers and what she can do with them, and how she can control the dagger. So there are like a couple different sizes on the daggers, and, you know, the way that our special effects team is pretty like insanely talented. Yeah. So we, you know, owe a lot of props to them for making it so realistic.
Yeah. Well, and Aubrey, the concept of the cloak at this point is kind of more of like a mental cloak as well. How long are fans gonna have to wait until we get to actually see you full cloak out?
Well, I mean, that's the part of the show that I love about it. Just that, you know, you don't start the show and see these two established superheroes that know exactly how to use their powers, and so I think people are gonna enjoy the journey of you know, me finding the cloak or the cloak finding me. But right now, it's really, his teleportation is really off of what he's feeling or what he's thinking, and so that's why you keep seeing him end up everywhere, like all over the place. So, yeah, I think we should definitely just wait on it. It's coming.
People always talk about like which powers you wish you could have in real life, and I always thought teleportation would be so cool, but then I see everywhere your character ends up, and I'm like,
I know, you're just like, I don't know.
He can't control it.
I know, I know.
We're starting to get some great questions in from Facebook and from YouTube. Edward from Facebook wants to know, who is your favorite Marvel superhero?
Ooh.
Which also, how cool is it you guys are in the Marvel universe?
I know,
Crazy.
I know. We're pretty excited about it. And it's hard, too, because, like, we grew up going, you know, all the Marvel movies and everything.
Course,
so this is a hard one. But, I mean, I'd probably say Iron Man. I've just been a massive fan of Iron Man, for years and years. But I'm really excited to meet Captain Marvel. So, yeah.
Right. Yeah, I would say Logan. Wolverine, definitely.
Yeah.
But I'm just, you know, of course, really hype about T'Challa and Black Panther, of course. So
naturally, I'm like obsessed with him. So
of course.
Nikki on YouTube wants to know, what has been your favorite episode so far?
I don't know. I'd say our first episode is really strong. I think it is a really great representation of, you know, who our characters are and the journey that they're about to embark. And we're, you know, really lucky that we got to work with Gina Prince Bythewood, who directed our first episode. I mean, I've worshipped her films since day one, so I'm very lucky and grateful to be able to work with her. But I also think, you know, we're really excited about 4. The 4th episode is something that we're really looking forward to everybody to seeing.
Yeah, definitely 4.
Yeah.
Speaking of the pilot, I love the mini-me's. They got to play your younger selves. Olivia, your little girl looks just like you.
Like,
it's
it's creepy.
It's like,
I actually Googled, I'm like, Olivia Holt, younger sister?
No, I have no younger sister, but if I had one, that would, I mean, Rachel, the girl who played the younger version of Tandy, I would like show her pictures of me when I was a kid, and they were identical. Like, it was insane. The casting was like genius and perfect, so spot on.
Well, and also I love your younger counterpart. He has an acting range that is so impressive.
Lil Maceo is the tightest.
Yeah.
Shout out Maceo. He's going to go very far, I definitely think.
We're still getting in some more fan questions. Keep sending them in. Andrea on Facebook says, hello. What do you think was the greatest obstacle getting into your characters?
I mean, I'd say for me, just in my daily life, I mean, as Aubrey, like I'm more of an extrovert. and Tyrone is definitely more of an introvert, definitely more closed off, and definitely has a guard up. So that was kind of hard for me, playing a shy character at first. But you know, I fell in love with the character Tyrone, and I'm just really honored that I got to play him. So
Yeah, no, I think I'd say for me, you know, I've grown up on sitcom, so this is definitely a whole new transition for me going into a more dramatic series. We have a lot of heavy material on this show. Towards the end of the season, I think both of us were like very emotionally and even physically exhausted. So I think just transferring my headspace into something that was a little heavier and you know, talking about things that are actually like current and happening in this day and age was something that I was very excited about, but also can be very challenging, you know, and doing it in a tasteful way, but also not glamorizing it in any sort of way. So, I mean, there was a few challenges, I think, within that realm, but they were all good challenges, you know, I think challenges that sort of helped us grow and not just, you know, that are going to impact us as actors and help us evolve as actors, but I think that's going to impact the audience, and that was ultimately our goal. So a little bit of a challenge, but I think, you know, hopefully we're hitting the ground running with that one.
Well, speaking of challenges, I'm curious to know, what has the stunt work been like for you guys on this series?
Well, definitely Gina made it a point when we first started shooting that she wanted to do a lot of our own stunts.
Yeah.
And I feel like we just kind of took that through the rest of the season.
Wow. Yeah.
We had a great stunt double team, of course, with Brandon Shaw and Antoine Lamar on my end. But you know, we really tried to go out there and do our own stunts, and I feel like it just made the whole superhero experience, you know, real.
Yeah,
me,
it did. It was interesting because when we would, I mean, obviously, like some of the things that we did were a little aggressive. So, I mean, you know, we did them obviously a great stunt team who sort of like helped us do it in, you know, a safe space. But but I mean, as far as like the physicality went, it was really intense. And I mean, we had some days where we were like, okay, maybe we just need to like lay low. Maybe we get a massage. I don't know.
Yeah,
Well, it's physically taxing on your body.
is.
Also, you guys run a lot in this show.
We do.
By the way, we got so many steps in. Like,
my God.
I've never ran so much in my life. I'm not
That's
kidding.
like actually truth.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God.
Well, between the suicides your character had to do, and you guys were just constantly always running somewhere.
Yeah.
Chase.
Yeah, my character's just running away from everything. So
Right.
literally.
So what is your treat yourself thing that you used to have on set? Like if you had a particularly grueling day, what was your little reward?
Some popcorn just always made my day.
Right. There was definitely always some Sprite waiting for me in my trailer.
We're just
I'm
like, we
obsessed.
just love food. We
Yeah,
just,
literally.
as long as you bring us food, then we're good. And we were in New
Good.
Orleans, so we were set. Yeah.
How did you not get like immensely overweight with all those beignets? Because you
The
guys
running.
brought us a beignet.
Yeah.
Right?
Run also.
It was a balance. It was a
Right.
balance. We were fine.
Joe on Facebook says, did you guys research the characters from the books, and how much of that did you bring to the show? And he also adds he's a big fan of the show.
Thanks,
Aw,
Joe. Yeah, we dived into the comics a lot when we first started, just to sort of understand the tone and the characters and their journey. And even though we've sort of, you know, taken a different twist on the origin story, it was really important for us to get to know Cloak and Dagger as the team that they are in the comics. So even though our show is a little bit different, I feel like there's still sort of that same tone and level of, you know, compassion and trust that they have for each other in the comics. And our hair and makeup trailer actually had the ladies in the hair and makeup trailer plastered Cloak and Dagger comics all over the hair and makeup trailer wall.
That's so
Which was
cool.
perfect.
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, it sort of like gave us like a great vibe just to start the day, but then we could also like have a fun little light read before we started shooting.
Right.
Yeah.
Fans, whenever they're watching a TV show, whenever someone has great on-screen chemistry, they're automatically like, oh my gosh, I shipped those two characters together.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's already happening with your characters.
Yeah.
What do you want to say to the fans out there about the dynamic between the two of them moving forward?
Well, to me, right now it's just more about the companionship, and you know, these two have been connected by fate, undeniably. So it's just about them figuring each other out and you know, kind of becoming friends before anything else happens. So
Yeah.
I
agree.
Yeah, I think the beauty of their relationship is definitely the friendship at first. So
Yeah.
We've got time for a couple more questions from the fans.
Sure.
Pam on Facebook, great question. She says, which Marvel series would you like to make a cameo in?
We always talk about this. I mean, every single one of them.
Right?
But
Just give me all of them.
we always say that we feel like Runaways would make more sense. You know, I mean, they also did a crossover in the comics as well. So, and we're all, you know, around the same age, and we're all, you know, legit aunties, just sort of running around and figuring, So I feel like Runaways would make more sense.
Definitely.
And we're also friends with the cast, and we love them, and just are dying to work together.
That would be so cool.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
No, we agree. We're like
We're waiting on
begging
that.
All right.
Marvel.
Okay, Marvel, let's make this happen.
Come on.
Last fan question is also from Brendan on Facebook. Oh, wait, no, did we already have one from? Oh, welcome, Brendan. This is brand new.
Welcome.
Will we see somewhat of who the main villains will be this season, or will that be more something for season 2?
I think for this first season, we're obviously focusing a lot on Tandy and Tyrone's relationship and their path and their journey. And I think, you know, you'll start to see a couple familiar faces from the comic, such as, you know, like Bridget O'Reilly and Father Delgado. I think those are like 2 main people from the comic. So I think, you know, we'll sort of see that unveil as the season goes on. But I think you have to continue watching to find out.
I'm going to look ahead right now for our last question together because I'm so excited. Episode 4 airs tomorrow, but I want to look ahead to episode 10, your finale.
We're really getting in there.
Oh, yeah. Can you give us a tease for what that episode is going to be like, or what your reaction was when you read that final script?
Well, first, absolutely no teasers. But
We'll get in trouble.
right. But I mean, definitely when I read the episode, I was just floored. I was like, yeah, this is the finale. It definitely is a huge episode, and I think sets the tone for where they go next.
Yeah,
definitely.
Absolutely. It's overwhelming in all the right ways. Like, it's everything that you could want and need. And I think, you know, as every single episode happens and you watch it, you'll understand when episode 10 comes out why everything happened, and hopefully, you know, it's a good segue into another season.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers mad crossed.
Mad cross.
Well, Olivia and Aubrey, thank you so much for sitting down with me today. I really appreciate it. Thank you to all the fans for sending in your questions. Be sure to check out Marvel's Cloak and Dagger every Thursday at 8 p.m. on Freeform, and we'll see you next time.
Thank
Bye,
you, guys.
Bye.